For the better part of 4 years, Pokemon cards have been all about the artworks. Everybody loves a good special illustration rare. Everybody loves a good alt art. Everybody loves the Silver Tempest Lugia. Everybody loves these huge chase pulls. They're really difficult to pull out of the packs, and it's a good time. It's just a good time. Honestly, this is the golden era of Pokemon. We're seeing expression come out on these Pokemon cards like never before. It's not just a basic holo. Not knocking holos, I love holos, but it's not just a basic holo anymore. They're taking up the entire card. They're drawing something that is truly magnificent, and it's just a really exciting time to be in the hobby. Now rewind back the clock to 2019. The alt art was born. It came about in the tag team era in Sun and Moon. Now on the English side, a lot of these alt art tag teams were featured in collection boxes and tins. They're featured as promos, okay? And because of this, a lot of those promos, they'd come in like tins, they'd come in boxes, whatever, and they'd get like banged up, right? Like they'd get wrecked in those boxes. And they have very, very low PSA 10 rates, sometimes below 20%, which is kind of wild. Like if you send 10 of them in, you're gonna get 2 PSA 10s if they're fresh out of the box. I wanted to bring this up today because I think we have a little bit of an opportunity. I think that there is a gap in the market in terms of value for some of these promos in PSA 10 form. So if you don't like graded cards, you don't have to watch this anymore, but we're gonna be talking about graded cards today. We're gonna be talking about low pop, low hit rate 10s from the Sun and Moon era. We're gonna be talking about promos. But to redeem myself, we are talking about alt arts, and you probably like those because alt arts are just awesome. Now the first one we're gonna be talking about is Espeon and Deoxys. This is Sun and Moon promo 240. Absolutely stunning artwork, absolutely beautiful. Everybody loves this thing. And what's even crazier about this thing is it has less than a 20% 10 rate. If you send one into PSA, you have a 17% chance at getting a 10 when you take it out of the box. That's just based on the ones that have been sent in, which I've got to assume are the mintiest of minty, it's the mintiest ones. The nicest looking ones get sent to PSA, and only 17% of them come out 10s. That's a pretty low percentage for a modern card, and I know it comes in like a janky box, and they get bent in there, whatever, like the Walmart employees just like, I don't know, like folding it in half, to, I don't know, they're trying to stuff it all on the shelves or whatever, but it's a 17% 10 rate. It's really, really low. Now, what's even better about this is they sell for like $150 right now. And that's absolutely crazy because there's less than 600 of them. So you take a card, there's less than 600 of them, they sell for $150, and you got to assume, well, it doesn't really make a lot of sense. It's pretty easy. You can just go buy one of these boxes, you crack it open, you send it, right? It's pretty simple. Well, the boxes sell for like $200 to $300. It kind of depends. Like there's some boxes that have like Crimson Invasion in them, and they kind of have some like lesser quality packs. But then they also have like a really high-end box that's got Espeon and Deoxys. It's got Umbreon and Darkrai. That box sometimes has Cosmic Eclipse in it. Now, Cosmic Eclipse is a banger set, so that thing's gonna sell for like 300 or even more than that, depending on the condition of the box. But we're not talking about some easy, like,
go grab one, it's minty, it comes in these boxes, it's no big deal.
It's not as easy as just breaking that thing out and sending it to PSA. It's just a lot more complicated than that. It's a huge barrier to entry. You have to spend $300 to get the card, then $25 to send it to PSA, and hopefully you get a 10. Hopefully you do. Or you can just buy PSA 10 for $150. I feel like that's a good deal. Let me know what you think in the comment section. Now, the next one we have is the Umbreon and Darkrai. This is going to be SM241. Also another stunning artwork. Super, super dark. I love the way this thing looks. It's just phenomenal. There are less than 700 of these, and they have a 20% 10 rate. They do come in the same box as the Espeon, so you could, in theory, get that box, take those promos out, send them to PSA, and get 10s. I find that to be a little unlikely. I think the 20% 10 rate on the Umbreon will have something to say about that. It's not an easy card to grade, but this card's only going to set you back about $260, okay? That's just an insane price. It's an insane price. Surely they're unpopular Pokemon, right? They're not that big of a deal, right? No, it's freaking Umbreon. It's a PSA 10 alt art Umbreon, and it's difficult to find in a PSA 10. There's less than 700 of them. So if you're like an investor person and you're like trying to think about like the best value, right? You can look at like an Umbreon VMAX and say there's 10,000 of those. Well, there's only less than 700 of the Umbreon Darkrai. So, I mean, in its PSA 10, I mean, if you're looking for a PSA 10 master set of Umbreon, you're gonna need this card. It's not gonna be as easy to find later on. Last but not least, the absolute king of the tag team promos is the Charizard and Reshiram, and this bad boy is just really difficult to grade because it comes in the jankiest box of all the janky boxes. The box is gonna set you back at least $150, and when you crack that thing out, you have less than a 15% pen rate with that card. So it is very difficult to get a PSA 10 of this card. In fact, there's less than 400. I think there's like 322 of them in a PSA 10, which is absolutely insane. If you compare that with like the Hidden Fates Charizard GX, right? Like how many thousands of those exist in a PSA 10? And you look at this $500 promo that there's only 322 of them. It just doesn't make any sense. I know what you're thinking. I want to buy a raw copy that's like got nicks and white corners or whatever, and I could buy one for $25, $30, whatever. It's no big deal. We're not talking about that exactly today. What we're talking about is having a PSA 10, okay? We're talking about PSA 10s. We're talking about having the mintiest of the mint quality version of that card and what somebody might be willing to pay for that in the future. Now, as promised, I wanted to show you what I picked up recently, which is this Umbreon Darkrai. It's just a beautiful card. Love this thing. I love the darkness of it. I'm not like a huge Umbreon guy. I mean, honestly, I could kind of care less about Umbreon, but I really like this artwork. Actually, I like Darkrai. I definitely like Darkrai, but this case is super scratched and dirty, whatever. I'm just gonna get it reholdered. It's not very expensive. Get it reholdered. It's no big deal, but I do have it in a 10, which is it's nice. You flip this thing around. Look at this. The corners look really good. The edges look really, really good. There's no surface dents, there's no dings, there's no scratches, and this is just a really good example of this card. And those boxes that have like Cosmic Eclipse, that have like all of this stuff in them, they are not getting cheaper. This is it, guys. If you want a card like this, you want to get it in a very, very clean state of condition, you're gonna have to do it relatively soon, because as the years go on, this kind of stuff gets really, really difficult to find. It's not hard to find Umbreon VMAX. It's not hard to find Espeon from Fusion Strike. There are thousands upon thousands of them, and if you want to collect that, that's absolutely your choice. People are going to be wanting these low pop promos. I just feel like I can feel it in my bones. Let me know in the comment section what you think. I could be totally wrong. Could be off my rocker. Could be out of my mind. Probably am out of my mind. But hey, thanks so much for coming today. If you like this, make sure to like, make sure to subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one.